If there's one thing we've learned about business and life, it's that people are the X factor. They constantly surprise us, both in amazing ways and not so much. We're Ben and Syya, and welcome to the Gnaw This Business Bytes podcast. This show is all about real life things we all deal with every day, how they relate to business, and how to make some sense out of our daily chaos. Welcome to the show. And welcome back to another episode of Gnaw This Business Bytes. I'm Ben and this is Syya, and this is the first episode of 2025. I hope you guys had a phenomenal New Year's. I hope you guys had a great holiday season and life was good. You know, we had a great time. Syya always has a good time, but there are lessons to be learned. There are lessons to be learned from 2024. It was a crazy year. I mean, it was a crazy year politically. It was a year, a whole bunch of different things. And we need to sit back and think about it and say, okay, what are the things that we learned in 2024? And I want to hear from the audience. I can't wait to see the chat on this. I want to hear what were the crazy and wonderful things that you did, that you didn't do, what you learned, what you should have done. I think that there are so many things that we can learn from each other. And the more we see in the chat, the better chance we have of exploring this. So Syya, let's gnaw on this. What were the things that you learned in 2024 that, that all of a sudden you sat there and went, oh, right. Okay, we won't do that again. Or I got to do double down on that.
Yeah. So, okay. So of my top three, we'll go back and forth. How about that?
Perfect.
Our top three? Want to do that?
Sure,
okay.
Whatever. Yeah.
All right. So, number 3 for me is value yourself. So when I say value yourself, this is both as an entrepreneur and as a corporate employee is, we get this, multiple times in our lives, you doubt, and there's doubt within your capabilities. From an entrepreneur perspective, it's often thought of as imposter syndrome, like, oh, am I really backing up what I can say? And you can apply that to corporate America as well. But I think in a corporate America as well is people who keep saying yes and keep stacking more work onto themselves and not valuing, you're capable, but you can also appreciate your skill sets and the maximum reach because there's only so many minutes in a day.
True.
So my number 3 was that I learned is I have to value myself. I know I've got the expertise. I cannot overextend myself. So, and I did it way too many times in 2024.
Yeah. And I'll build on that. I mean, my number 3 is definitely this. We overestimate what we can do in a day. We underestimate what we can do in a year. We way overestimate what we can do. I mean, how busy are our schedules? We wake up in the morning, we take a look at our schedules and the meetings that are there, you go, they're back to back to back. And you sit there and say, at the end of the day, who did I talk to? What did we talk about? What did we accomplish? What am I supposed to do next? And we spend an hour and a half or 2 hours into our evening trying to dissect what we did during the day just so we can be prepared for the day to come. And the question is, how efficient is that? And we try to pack way too much into a day. And I think if we sat there and said, okay, what are the key goals that we really want to do over a year? What are the 5 things we want to accomplish? What are the 5 key things? What are the goals? What is going to make us a better year and a better person? And if we sit there and say, yeah, that's not leading to that. No, that's not leading to that. No, that's not leading to that. Okay, maybe those are not priorities. Maybe those people either get shuffled or shuffled back or shuffled off, or you sit there and say, listen, I only have so much time for this. And I think that's my number 3.
Ooh, that's a good one. I really like that. You don't have enough time in the day, but you underestimate what you can do in a year. That is so amazing because, yeah, you're right. Last year at this time, we probably should replay back our old videos and listen back. We should do a reaction. Maybe we'll make that a future episode of just a react of maybe our part of our goal setting episode,
Yeah.
No, I love that. And that is the truth of when you understand that time is finite.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my number 2. So I think we're kind of building off each other.
Yeah.
Is there is a finality of time, and when we're talking to our clients and or colleagues about achieving deadlines and being able to achieve certain key performance indicators, metrics that you put together to determine if a project is successful or not,
Mm-hmm.
I think I think you're right in a lot of ways where sometimes you think you have a lot of time to do something, especially when you create like, the 30, 60, 96 month, 1 year type plans and goals.
Sure.
Sometimes you really have to look at your time to make the call earlier on to pivot. So for me, time is finite, and I think it's helpful for our clients to understand if you're looking at a project that's like 6 months long or a year long, those weekly check-ins and monthly reviews do matter, and they do help to correct the ship sooner than later.
Oh yeah, because
So
if we
that's
sit there and look back 6 months from now and say, "Oh, I should have done this and should have done that," it's too late.
yeah.
It's too late. And the more we sit there and say, "Wait a second, check in, check in, check it. Am I going the right course? Correct. Yep, going the right way. Good. Keep going." Our life becomes way better.
Yeah. And I have this year started I have always used my calendar,
Yeah.
but I have shifted within the last like 4 months actually to not only have my calendar, I have a to-do list that is like always right there,
Yeah.
and it's just right there for me. And then I actually keep some of the older stuff that I have there, and I cross it off or I bold
Mm-hmm.
it so I can see I am accomplishing amazing things.
Yep.
And then once the list it's tedious because you haven't removed, then I remove some of the older stuff, but I always keep a little line, and it helps me realize, wait, my time isn't being wasted.
Yeah.
And another thing I started is saying 30 minutes you're doing this.
Yeah.
45 minutes you're doing that. Go up and go take a walk, because another thing about time for the young and limber people, it's fine. You can sit on your butt all day, whatever. But for people as you get a certain age, let me tell you, I am in pain from sitting too
I
long.
can't sit
and
8 hours a day
have to
anymore.
remember.
There's no way.
I have to remember to like get up. Yeah.
Absolutely. Or else at the end of the day, my legs will just buckle underneath me. It's funny because my number 2 is make time for the important people in our lives.
Oh.
It's the big rocks. It's sitting there going, you know what? There are people in my life that are important to me. And I schedule time with people into my calendar saying, you know what? Every 2 months, contact this person. I have people that I literally contact once a month just to see how they're doing. I may never get work from them. Never. But they're people that are important in my life. And therefore, I contact them and say, hey, how are you doing? Where are we? What's going on? What can I help you with? Here's some things that I'm thinking about. What do you think about this? And when we make the time for the important people in our lives, all of a sudden, when we do need them, they're there for us. And it's realizing that I may have 10,000 contacts on LinkedIn. How many of those people are important to me? Maybe 200. Most of them I'm grateful for. I love having them. I love the fact that they, connect with me, that they comment on stuff. That's great. It's wonderful. But there's probably 200 people that are core to my life.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I can sit there and say, hey, did you look at this? And have you seen this? And what do you think about this? And be able to have those conversations either online or offline makes my life better.
Oh, you went deep on that one. I was trying to keep it LinkedIn business focused, but 100%.
Hey,
the people
relationships,
in your lives,
those are business relationships too.
Well, if they are, my business family members suck then, because I would like them to. Okay, so I went to Vegas for my niece's birthday. Okay,
Right.
21st birthday. Can I tell you, I had to grab everyone's phone and I had to manually have them like and follow my channels. Can I just tell you, I had to manually do that. So no, family is not great for business. I'm just telling you right now. Okay, so I digress.
Sorry. No, I mean, I don't do business with family, nor do I want to do business with family. But I'm talking the people that I'm relating to are people that I've met on LinkedIn,
of course,
that I've formed a relationship that they may turn into work, they may not turn into work. Some of them become referral partners, some of them don't, but they're important to me for very specific reasons. and each one is different.
Right.
And I think it's knowing who those people are, knowing why they're important in your life, knowing what you can learn from them, what experiences you can gain from them, and how you can help make their lives better, creates the opportunities for things to happen that you never would have imagined. And it's a matter of, if we don't keep in touch, we lose track of those people. And some of those people are gold.
That's true.
Most of those people are gold.
Yeah, you just reminded me like a really good friend that I used to work with back in the day. He is now an incredibly successful business owner in his own right, and it's funny because we started as friends back in the in our 20s together. 20s.
That was only 5 years ago.
Exactly. But the thing is, like, I didn't realize over the years, and he's kept offering himself up to me. It wasn't until fairly recently where I sat down and I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know. I know it was never a formalized mentorship thing, but I do want to let you know that every single conversation we have, I always appreciate your support and insights."
That's awesome.
And he's always been there every step of the way to help me grow.
Mhm.
And it was interesting because he did mention, he goes, when I first met you, when you first started going this entrepreneur route, I left corporate in 2017 and started the business in 2019, 18, 19.
Right.
And he goes, he's like, I can see your change. I can see how you evolved. And
Nice.
I feel very proud of that. So thank you for that reminder, and family and friends that become family.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out for that.
Absolutely. So what's your number one? Let's go to number one.
Well, again, I was thinking just LinkedIn in general, but I will say this along the lines of value yourself, value your time, value money. And when I say money, value your worth of people paying for your time and collect it. Like,
yes.
You're not a charity. And again, I get it. Sometimes I want to be helpful for everybody and I offer a lot of ideas. Keyword here, I give ideas freely. I have no problems with that.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing is execution. So I know if people don't run with the ideas I give them, that's on them, right? But it's the people that just asshole me all the time and keep coming back. And I'm like, okay, look, at this point,
there's a future episode talking about assholes. Okay, we'll go into that too.
That is a good one. But yeah, no, collect your money up front. And even if it's a large contract, okay, get up, half of it up front, half at the end, however you want to do it, or, a charge up front to start, because I have seen, unfortunately, some people they will take money from you if they can. And there's no shame in it, because they say, if you don't ask me for it, then you don't value, and therefore why should I value you? Hard lesson. And then there are some people who will just take your money, know they owe you, and walk away. And you know who you are. And to this day, I besmirch your soul. So
yeah. And I look at those people as says they've done you a favor by walking away, and they owe you money. You never have to deal with them ever again. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Is the fact, yes, it's cost you money. Absolutely, it's cost you money. But the fact is, you never have to deal with that person ever again. And hopefully, it's not enough money. Hopefully, it's something you can sit there and say, I'm paying for a gift, and that gift is I don't have to see this person ever again. So we'll see what will happen. Now, my
expensive gift.
It can be a very expensive gift. Trust me, I've had a couple of very expensive gifts over the last couple of years. My number one is we have to be resilient, creative, and adaptive. If we're not going to move forward into 2025. We live in a world of evolution. It is not about change anymore. It's about evolution. The world is continually moving along, and either you're going to keep up, either you're going to embrace it and ride the wave, or you're going to crash and burn and be left behind in the sand. So as individuals, as businesses, our job is to sit there and be resilient, creative, and adaptive, and teach this to our teams. It's not enough for us to be resilient, adaptive, and creative. It's about building resilient, creative, and adaptive teams. So as stuff hits the fan, as the world changes, as clients evolve, we can sit there and say, okay, that's happened. Why did it happen? What could we have done better? What did we learn from it? What do we do next? And I think that if we can build that into our cultures as organizations and as human beings, we'll be better off.
What are those three again? Because I want to really make sure you reiterate that.
Resilient, creative, and adaptive.
I love that. I think that's really well. I have to look for a new word of the year. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to think about that. I really like that.
There we go. So that's where it is. Those are our top 3. Rewind, re-listen. Hopefully these help you. I want to see what's in the chat because I think there's going to be some incredible things in the chat.
Yeah.
But let's leave it there. I'm Ben.
I'm Syya.
And we'll see you soon.
Hey. Thanks for listening to another episode of Gnaw on This Business Bytes. If you liked what you heard, we most humbly ask that you like, share, and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to communicate more effectively within your organization, contact Ben at yourbrandmarketing.com or me at brilliantbeammedia.com. We can help you build your community, brand awareness, and personality through digital content and podcasting. We cannot wait to hear from you. So see you next week for another episode of Gnaw on This Business Bytes.